Welcome into another edition of Hawks Nest. I'm Clay Harrell. Today I'm joined by Bryce Graham and Owen Carando, and we're going to take a look at the war for the wheel and what went wrong in Southeast 20-17 loss to Southern Illinois. And then we're also going to take a look at the men's and women's basketball schedules that got released and give you our way too early predictions for those seasons. So to get right into it, Owen, you lose 20-17 on a last-second field goal last Friday. What went wrong there for Southeast?
I think the big thing that went wrong there was the penalties. When you have 7 penalties for 71 yards, that kind of kills any momentum you have going your way.
And you mentioned the momentum being killed. Fourth quarter, you're driving down the field, you get into the red zone, and SIU commits a pass interference penalty in the end zone that would have set you up first and goal from the 1, and you get hit with an eligible man downfield to offset, kind of a backbreaker at that point. Kendrick Tiller drills a field goal to tie it, but you can't stop the run game, and SIU just kind of runs right down your throat, and the game ends on the last-second field goal. But, Bryce, does anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, so their pass game was not the best this game. They were 6 for 15 for 53 yards, and you can't win a football game when you pass like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you want to look at a bright spot, the run game for Southeast was pretty good. Gino has had a big game carrying for over 100 yards. Andrew Bunch went out for over 100 yards. Didn't pass the ball the best, but was still pretty dynamic in the run game. And there was a lot, I don't know what they saw with maybe the draw with Bunch, but him getting off the edge into the outside, he had some pretty good luck. But, I mean, it just wasn't there for Southeast. I know I was kind of out there a lot with my predictions, and I was just slightly wrong.
Yeah.
There for a while, 7-3 looked possible because it was just so ugly. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just not a good game. I think they have good things to build off of going into it. I mean, Owen, was there one thing you saw you liked?
I did like seeing Bunch run the ball a lot for SEMO. I mean, like he had 2 pretty big rushes for each over 40, I'm pretty sure. And that was good when, like you said, when he got off the edge, it was like there was a lot of open field for him.
Bryce, you talked about the run game. Did you like Hess more than Bunch, one or the other, or what was your
so
thing?
Hess actually, I liked Hess a lot. He looked really good, and he put up the numbers too.
He had like a 64-yard rush at one point, I think, too, right? Yeah.
That's what kept us in the game.
So you look at it, you got some good things to build off of going into the spring, which I think is like February 27th or whatever it is at this point. Like it was 114 days from the war for the wheels to your next game. So you really had to get that win to keep the momentum going into week 2, but it didn't happen. Now you got enough time to hopefully get back to it for week 2, but men's basketball schedules get released. We'll hit them first, then hit the women's schedule, who the defending OVC tournament champions. Does the men's team win more than 7 games this year? Owen, I'll go to you first.
I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to put them right at the 10 mark, though.
10 mark? All right, Bryce, what do you got?
I'm going with they win 6 games this year. They haven't looked good in the past, but I think they should bounce back this year.
How are you going to say they bounce back and won't win 6? No. I bet I'm going to agree with Owen. I bet they have a decent year. I don't know. We don't really know what Coach Korn's completely, what his style is, coaching defensively, offensively, and there's a lot of roster turnover as well. That's obviously been well noted. I think like 6 or 7 guys that are on the team from last year are still here. So a lot of roster turnover. I'll give them 10, Owen. I like that prediction.
I'll change my prediction.
You're going to change it.
I'll say 8.
There you
go.
So you're going to bounce back to, okay.
I'll say 1 game over.
I like it.
All right. New squad, so.
The women's team, they didn't get to go to the NCAA tournament last year. What do you think? What's the message, Owen, in that locker room? You know, you guys, you dominate the OVC tournament, aside from, you know, you escape against, I think it was Tennessee Tech maybe, when Taylor Pruitt hit the game winner from like half court. What's the message? You know, are you guys fired up, ready to go for opening night?
Oh, man, you know they're coming back with a vengeance. They got kind of gypped with COVID and not being able to go to the NCAA tournament, but they're going to come back with some fire and try to get back there this year.
November 27th is the men's season. They go to Kansas City for a tournament. I think they open against Colorado State or something like that. And then the women's team, November 28th, at home. I mean, it's big time. We're going to get some kind of sports here this spring. We thought maybe it was just the war for the wheel, but the schedule's being announced. We don't really know exactly what protocols are going to be in place as far as fans, what's going to look like around the court and whatnot. But I think the women's team is going to be pretty dominant. I think maybe they have a good year left here. You lost Carrie Shepard, Jesse Harshberger, and there's 2 others, and their names slipped my mind now. But you lost a pretty good senior class. The men's team only lost 2 players. So there's a shot for 2 graduating players, that is. They lost a lot more than 2. But there's a shot for the men's team to be really good, and there's a shot for the women's team to be really, really good. You still have to deal with UT Martin, who did not lose like anything at all. They still have the best player in the OVC on their team in Chelsea Perry. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I still think those are probably your 1-2 in the conference. Belmont's still pretty good. But it's going to be a big year. Bryce, I don't know the exact number, how many games they're playing, but how many games does the women's team win this year?
I think they're going, I'm not really sure how many games they play, but I'm saying they go back to the tournament.
Okay, I'm going to say they probably win 20 games. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly how many they play, but I bet they'll be a 20-game winner and get it done. But that's all we have on this week's episode of Hawks Nest. Be sure to tune in next week when we continue to look around Southeast sports. Have a great afternoon.